Maria. Many of the world's greatest people have had this name, from celebrities to athletes to politicians, you name it. Hell, it's so popular that you can even find it on guys. This name is so flexible, mind you, so flexible that it can either be compressed or stretched. I don't know about you guys, but no other name has made such an impact in our lives that it has brought the world together twice. The first was 2,000 years ago when she gave birth to the savior of mankind. The second was 2,000 years later when a regional court tried her and convicted her of a crime. Who is this Maria? Why was she convicted? And what are the repercussions of convicting her of said crime? Well, guys, let's talk about a woman named Maria. Maria Ressa, professor, journalist, criminal? Before we get into the events of today, it would be at least nice to know who exactly Maria is. What's her background? Knowledge is power nga naman, di ba? Unfortunately, here in my beautiful yet judgmental nation of the Philippines, we like to bash smart people like Ressa because they challenge the status quo. There are illegal things here that are normal, and my countrymen tolerate such things. So when a smart person like Ressa decides to address the situation, find a solution, and then make it beneficial for everybody, they get bashed. Why though? So, if you're a smart person and you're here in the Philippines, you'll get bashed. You'll definitely be hated upon. You'll get arrested. You'll get shot. I don't know which is worse.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Let's find out who Ressa is instead. Maria Angelita Ressa, or I think that's how Angelita should be pronounced, is a Filipina through and through. People will argue that she's a Filipina American, which is also true. Here's why. Ressa was born in Manila in 1963. Unfortunately, her father grew his wings and flew to the great beyond. Condolences. Ressa's mom moved to the United States, leaving behind Ressa and her sister with their late father's family. Of course, the mom would still visit from time to time. There, the mom found love again, in the arms of an American Italian. When Maria and her sister were old enough, they moved with their mom to the United States as well, and that's where they grew up, thereby Ressa adopting her stepfather's name. Understanding Ressa's educational background is just as fascinating as learning something new. That is because I did learn something new, and that was Ressa's fascinating educational background. Di ba nga, meron tayong notion sa Pilipinas na kapag gusto mo maging parte ng media, you have to take up journalism or mass communications or broadcasting. Ressa, despite being a journalist, took up molecular biology and theater at Princeton University. Now, if that doesn't blow your brains off, you probably never enjoyed or cherished your education. Princeton University is one of the premier schools, one of the best schools in the States and in the entire world. It's an Ivy League school. Ivy League? Ano yung Ivy League? When we say Ivy League, yan kasi yung kapag naniniwala ka, Ivy League, something you and me. Peace.
Loser.
When we say Ivy League, these are premier schools. These are the best of the best schools ever, 102%. Compare that to the Philippines. We have what we call here the Big Four, UP, UST, Ateneo, and LaSalle. In the States, they have Princeton, Yale, Harvard. Many of the nation's greatest have studied in these schools. I hope that fascinated you more. It's also worth noting that Ressa graduated as a cum laude with a Bachelor of Arts degree in English and other certificates in theater and dance in class of 1986 at Princeton, after which she was also awarded a Fulbright Fellowship to study political theater at UP Diliman. Oh, another Big Four. So you got Princeton in your resume and you got UP Diliman. Bonkers. Here's where things get really fascinating. Ressa's first job was with the government? Paano? I mean, parang hindi nagmamatch, no? Kasi ngayon inaaway siya ng gobyerno eh. But yes, Ressa's first media job was with People's Television 4 or PTV4, the government's media agency located at Visayas Avenue in Quezon City. She then co-founded the international production company known as Probe, while simultaneously being CNN's bureau chief in Manila all the way till 1995. And mind you, this was in 1987, 1 year or less after she graduated from Princeton. I mean, who can get a big job like that after they graduate? I've been a graduate for a year already and I still don't have a proper job. Hi, ABS. From 1995 until 2005, Ressa was part of CNN's division in Jakarta, Indonesia. There, she was CNN's lead investigative reporter and her special focus? Investigating terrorist networks. Don't believe me? Go check CNN, see what they have to say. The outcome? Pristine. In 2004, Ressa was put at the front of ABS-CBN's Integrated News and Current Affairs, the news division of the Broadcasting Corporation, while simultaneously still writing for CNN and the Wall Street Journal. Talk about women and multitasking. In 2010, Ressa decided not to continue her contract with ABS-CBN. This was in part because of an article that she published on the international media outlet The Wall Street Journal, of which she was still a part of, that criticized then Philippine President Benigno Noynoy Aquino III, or Pinoy, of how he handled the 2010 Quirino Grandstand hostage situation. Now, this article came out 2 weeks before Pinoy was scheduled to make his trip to the United States to visit the president there. Now, given that the Wall Street Journal has reaches internationally, especially in the United States, this did not make Pinoy look any good. This reason and other reasons not specified by the source I'm using gave Ressa the drive not to continue her employment with the Lopez Company. In 2012, Ressa and some of her colleagues decided to start a media-based website. This website was called MovePH. Name sound familiar? It was a small media-based website that distributed news to local scene and the international scene as well. Eventually, with enough reputation, this website became Rappler. That's Ressa. Or at least a brief background about her. Now you know something about her. So, if she's such an educated person, why was she convicted of cyber libel? You'd think that because she's an educated person that, she'd make less mistakes because she knows this and knows that. Yes and no. Let's find out why. The controversy. Following its establishment in 2012, Rappler has gained a reputation, though not in the way we expected it to be. Of course, these are with the help of its critics, saying that the company has become a purveyor of fake news, that it has lost its credibility on reasons such as opinionated delivery of information and the lack thereof and or over-sensationalism of information. Of course, the company has not succumbed to these allegations because why should they? Otherwise, they're the ones who lost the battle, right? Over 8 years, people have been throwing these kinds of criticism to the company. But what really drove the nail to the coffin was this. Following its establishment in 2012, reporter Rey Santos Jr. wrote this article that did its job by adding more fuel to the fire on the already pending yet controversial trial of then Chief Justice Renato Corona Jr. In this article, 5 names were mentioned. Of the 5 names, 1 did not take his defamation too lightly. Wilfredo Keng, a Filipino-Chinese businessman who was listed by Forbes in 2010 as one of the richest Filipinos at the time, found himself in deep, deep water. His vehicles, 2 Chevrolet Suburban SUVs with matching plate numbers, were caught on camera being used by the controversial politician. Now you would think that a wealthy businessman letting a politician use his vehicles isn't much to talk about. Here's where things get much worse. Prior to this incident, Keng has been listed as a controversial figure himself. He has admitted that one of the Suburbans was his, with a matching plate number as well. However, he has denied that one of the Suburbans caught on camera was his, despite verified documents from the Land Transportation Office. What makes things a little bit more interesting is that the Supreme Court has noted that Corona has been using Keng's vehicles for a long time for both official and non-official business. Now, speaking of Keng, a while ago I mentioned that he has controversy smudged all over his name. Here's why. In the report written by Rey Santos Jr., while he was trying to get the information about the registered car owner for the Suburban, he came across intelligence about Keng's shady past. The intelligence that Santos Jr. came across stated that Keng was a quote-unquote naturalized Filipino citizen. However, his exact date of birth is unknown, and he was going by an alias? In the Rappler article, Santos Jr. posts, the report stated that Keng had been under surveillance by the National Security Council for alleged involvement in illegal activities, namely human trafficking and drug smuggling. He is supposedly close to lawmakers and had contacts with the US Embassy at the time. The document also said Keng was involved in a murder case, for which he was never jailed. It could be referring to the death of Manila Councilor Chica Go in 2002, where Keng had been identified as a mastermind. Go was also the architect of Keng's Reina Regente condominium residence in Binondo, Manila. According to a 2002 Philippine Star report, Keng was also accused of smuggling fake cigarettes and granting special investors residence visas to Chinese nationals for a fee. Keng has denied his involvement in this illegal transaction, saying it's easy to get visas in the Philippines. Holy cow. Which brings us to recent events. In February of 2020, a cyber libel case was filed by Keng against editor Ressa and writer Santos Jr. Such balls. 4 months later, the verdict was out. Ressa and Santos are guilty of cyber libel. They were ordered to pay 400,000 pesos in damages and could face up to 6 years in jail. Ressa, on the other hand, could face even more jail time because of additional alleged cyber libel lawsuits, tax evasion cases, and other charges being pressed against her. So where do I stand in all of this? What are the repercussions? Well, this case has led to an evident decline of press freedom in this country, and to an extent, the waning trust of the public towards the media. This case has also led to an unjust system where the rich can do whatever the hell they want, and the right have to suffer when they stand up against such troublemakers. And the future of the media as a watchdog. Are we just going to be a distributor of information? Or will we take part in the fight to eradicate corruption? Let's go back to a dark time in Philippine media history. May 5, 2020, ABS-CBN Corporation was told to stop broadcasting operations based on an expired franchise, with whom lawmakers against the corporation are dragging their feet. I mean, come on, can't you just focus on the goddamn issue instead of bringing up a history lesson? Be objective. Now, the issue of ABS-CBN's franchise renewal is based on the allegations that the company has violated their original franchise. While press freedom is still an issue with ABS-CBN's franchise renewal, it's not the entire thing. As for Rappler, do I believe that this is an attack on press freedom? Yes. But why, Ralph? Are you siding with the losers? You know you're not gonna benefit from that. No. Let me stop you right there. We're gonna win based on facts. Alright? Your cowardly balls are gonna lose. Because
you can't handle the truth.
Look at it this way. A wealthy businessman with power, money, influence, connections sues a media company because they exposed his wrongdoings. Now, I'm not implying in any way that Keng bribed the justice system for them to kick Rappler in the ass. Hell no, I did not say that. However, it's a probability because of Keng's questionable credibility and his numerous controversies over the years based on this intelligence that Santos Jr. wrote in his article. Yeah, I get you, Ralph, but how is this still an attack on press freedom? Well, if the intelligence acquired by Santos Jr. is to be trusted, then Keng silencing a company that was only doing its job, its responsibility of protecting national interests from the abuses of people in authority, is an act of defiance against the media. On the subject of press freedom, and in his quest to clear his name, Keng has violated Article 3, Section 4 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution that states that no law shall be passed barricading the freedom of speech or of expression or of the press and so on and so forth. While a case isn't exactly a law, Tell me how it is. Keng is still stopping Rappler from exercising their rights as aforementioned and their responsibility as a watchdog against abuses of people in authority. I believe the punishment for Ressa and Santos were too much. Then again, I'm not excusing anybody from accountability and liability. The law is still the law, and freedom ends when it interferes with another's freedom and vice versa. But Rappler is only 8 years old. I have yet to see it become 100% credible. As do all companies, you gotta start somewhere. As for Ressa, a strong critic of the 29+1 administration, a recipient of multiple prestigious accolades because of her bravery as she stared death straight into its face. A veteran reporter, underestimated by her critics and peers alike. She has brought the world together, from regular citizens to international human rights lawyer Amal Clooney. The world is looking at the Philippines right now, demanding accountability. Thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, have joined the movement to defend press freedom. The question here is, will we too? What's up mga kausap? Thank you so much guys for making it to the end of this video. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you found this very educational, enlightening. You learned something new today. Whew. Grabe, I never honestly thought that I'd be back making videos, doing stuff that I like. Because, you know, you do a lot of stuff and you think about a lot of things when you have problems, you know. So, a big thank you talaga from the bottom of my heart to those of you who've supported my channel, who have uplifted me, made me feel better, shared my videos, and have inspired me. You know yourselves. Big thank you to you guys, 100% and beyond. Sana bigyan kayo ng jowa. At sana wag niyo ako kalimutan din. Anyway, kain na ako guys, gutom na ako. Whew, that was a wrap. Hey, Rappler. Anyway guys, let's talk about issues next time.
Hi mga kausap. Before anything else guys, I want to greet all the fathers out there. Happy Father's Day to you guys. At the time of this recording, it's June 21, 2020, a Sunday. And that means it's also Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to all of you guys out there. Thank you so much for showing your support to your children, to my dad as well. Thank you so much for showing me support and for always being there for me, even in times when I couldn't be there for myself. To all the moms out there who have been acting as fathers for their children as well, thank you so much guys. You are really big heroes in this time of much needed help and the love of a family. Stay strong guys, and if there are issues, pag-usapan niyo sa pamilya niyo. Don't let issues go by without addressing it. Till next time, ciao.